Welcome to Space Nexus. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. In a moment destined for the history books, the United States Supreme Court has delivered a ruling that will echo for generations. The marble halls of justice, so often the stage for landmark decisions, have once again become the center of global attention. The court has struck down the sweeping tariffs enacted by former President Donald Trump, a move that had reshaped America's relationship with the world and altered the course of international trade. On November 12, 2025, this decision redefines the boundaries of presidential power, sending shockwaves through the corridors of government and boardrooms alike. It marks a dramatic economic reset, the likes of which the nation has not seen in decades. For years, global trade was stifled by tariffs that raised prices and strained alliances. Today's ruling promises a sudden, if turbulent, return to open commerce as ships prepare to move goods more freely and businesses anticipate new opportunities. The court's verdict is a powerful reminder that the checks and balances enshrined in the Constitution are not relics of the past, but living principles with real modern force. The judiciary has asserted its role as a guardian of democratic limits. For businesses and households burdened by rising costs, this decision offers hope for relief. Families struggling with higher prices may soon see some respite, while small business owners look forward to a more predictable economic environment. Yet, the decision injects new uncertainty into the political landscape. It challenges Trump's economic legacy, ignites fierce debate in Congress, and sparks protests and rallies across the country. The nation is now forced to confront fundamental questions about trade, executive authority, and the future direction of American policy. The world now watches as America navigates this pivotal new chapter, with allies and rivals alike gauging the impact of this historic Supreme Court decision on the global stage. To grasp the impact of today's ruling, we must revisit the origins of the Trump tariffs. Former President Trump's aggressive trade strategy, justified by the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, imposed sweeping tariffs on major trading partners. Unlike its original use for targeted sanctions, IEEPA was stretched to justify broad, unpredictable tariffs, most notably, a 20% fentanyl tariff on Chinese goods. The result? Chaos for businesses, with over 40 tariff code changes in 2025 alone. Average U.S. tariff rates soared from 2.5% to nearly 18%, affecting everything from steel to groceries. While intended to protect American industries, the tariffs became a massive tax on importers and consumers. This unprecedented use of emergency powers set the stage for a historic legal challenge. The legal battle began not in Washington, but with small businesses and state governments devastated by the tariffs. Plaintiffs argued that only Congress, not the president, can levy taxes and regulate commerce, and that IEEPA was never meant for sweeping, long-term tariffs. In August 2025, a federal appeals court agreed, ruling Trump had exceeded his authority. The Supreme Court's oral arguments revealed deep skepticism about using IEEPA for broad economic policy. Prediction markets quickly reflected the odds. Few believed the tariffs would survive. Trump called the case life or death for our country, but the writing was on the wall. Today's decision confirms the end of this extraordinary legal fight. In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court declared the broad use of IEEPA tariffs unconstitutional. Chief Justice Roberts wrote that while the president has foreign policy authority, he cannot unilaterally impose sweeping taxes under a perpetual emergency. The ruling invalidates tariffs imposed under IEEPA, including the controversial fentanyl tariff, but leaves other tariffs intact for now. The court's decision closes a legal loophole, forcing future administrations to seek congressional approval for major trade actions. In dissent, Justice Alito warned this could limit presidential flexibility in crises. Still, the majority's ruling reasserts congressional control over trade and taxation. It's a defining moment for the separation of powers in American government. The tariffs' economic impact was profound, nearly $195 billion in import taxes collected in 2025 alone. Critics noted this revenue came from American companies, not foreign nations, stifling growth and costing jobs. A Yale study projected the tariffs would slow U.S. growth by 0.5 percentage points and cost households an extra $1,800 per year. Prices rose on everything from groceries to electronics, hitting families hard. With the court's ruling, the average tariff rate will drop from 18% to 9%, offering immediate relief. Economic models predict a sharp reduction in lost household income and a boost to growth. The damage can't be undone overnight, but the path to recovery is now open. This decision marks a turning point for American consumers and businesses. For small businesses across the country, tariffs weren't just a distant policy debate happening in Washington, they were a daily struggle that hit home. Every morning, owners opened their doors knowing that the cost of doing business had quietly crept higher overnight. The price of supplies, materials, and even basic goods was rising, squeezing already thin margins and making it harder to keep the lights on. Lacking the deep pockets of large corporations, many small businesses simply couldn't absorb these rising costs. Some were forced to lay off loyal employees, while others faced the heartbreaking decision to close their doors for good. Take Green Bar Distillery, for example. They paid $50,000 extra just for glass bottles, wiping out 10% of their annual profits. For a small business, that's the difference between survival and shutting down. In response, small business owners banded together, forming the We Pay the Tariffs Coalition. Representing over 700 businesses, this group fought tirelessly for relief, sharing stories of unpredictable costs and the real impact on their communities. Their message was clear: small businesses are the backbone of the economy, and they needed help. But it wasn't just business owners who felt the pinch. For working families, tariffs meant an extra $1,800 out of pocket each year, money that would have gone toward groceries, school supplies, or rent. It was a hidden tax on everyday life, quietly making it harder for families to make ends meet and forcing tough choices at the checkout counter. Today's ruling finally offers a glimmer of hope. With tariffs easing, small businesses can start to reinvest in their operations, hire back workers, and even lower prices for customers. Families, too, may finally see some relief when they shop for essentials, making it a little easier to balance the family budget. Of course, the adjustment won't happen overnight. It will take time for the benefits to ripple through local economies, but for the first time in years, the weight pressing down on small businesses and working families is beginning to lift. There's a renewed sense of optimism and possibility. This is the first real sign of economic relief in years, a turning point that could help communities rebuild and thrive once again. Experts agree. The Supreme Court's decision is a seismic shift, but the aftermath is complex. Legal analyst Joyce Adatutu calls it a major reset for executive power, restoring Congress's role in trade. The immediate question: refunds. Importers who paid illegal tariffs could be owed up to $1 trillion. Customs has the paperwork, but processing refunds for years of transactions will be a massive challenge. Treasury officials warn of an administrative nightmare, and some fear delays as the government sorts out claims. For small businesses, these refunds are a lifeline, crucial for recovery. Dan Anthony of We Pay the Tariffs calls the ruling a victory, but urges swift action on refunds. The fight isn't over until businesses get their money back. With the ruling public, America faces both opportunity and challenge. The government must now manage the largest financial reimbursement in U.S. history, an enormous logistical and political test. Politically, the decision reshapes the landscape. Trump can blame the judiciary for ending his trade agenda, while Congress regains control over tariffs. Future presidents will need congressional approval for major trade actions, making policy more transparent and deliberative. The ruling sparks a national debate. Will America return to free trade, or pursue protectionism through Congress? The next chapter depends on lawmakers, who must decide whether to legislate new tariff powers or embrace open trade. The path chosen will define America's economic future for decades. Today's Supreme Court ruling is more than a legal decision. It's a testament to the enduring strength and resilience of American democracy. In a moment watched by millions across the nation and the world, the highest court reaffirmed the foundational principles that have guided the United States for centuries. This decision is not just about the present, it echoes through history, reminding us of the values that bind us together as a nation. The case at hand was about constitutional limits, not merely economic policy. It was a powerful affirmation that no president, regardless of their influence or popularity, stands above the law. The Supreme Court's decision reinforces the idea that the Constitution is the ultimate authority, and that the checks and balances built into our system are alive and well. This ruling sends a clear message: the rule of law prevails over individual ambition. What makes this moment even more remarkable is that it was ordinary business owners, everyday Americans, not political elites, who brought this challenge forward and ultimately prevailed. Their courage and determination underscore the power of civic engagement and the importance of standing up for what is right. This is a victory for the rule of law and a reminder that in America, justice is accessible to all, not just the powerful. The decision also signals a return to predictable, process-driven trade policy, one that is transparent and accountable. This shift reassures not only American citizens, but also our allies and competitors around the globe. It demonstrates that the United States is committed to fair play and to upholding the rules that govern international commerce. In a world where trust in institutions is often tested, this ruling is a step toward rebuilding confidence in America's commitment to a rules-based order. It shows that the nation is willing to hold itself accountable, and that our democratic institutions are capable of self-correction and renewal. The ruling will be remembered as a defining test of the separation of powers, a moment when the system was challenged, and ultimately, the system held firm. It is a testament to the enduring design of American governance, where no branch is unchecked and every branch is accountable. This is a victory for constitutional governance, ensuring that Congress, as the voice of the people, shapes the nation's economy in the open, through debate and deliberation. It is a reaffirmation that the legislative process matters, and that transparency and accountability are essential to a healthy democracy. The resilience of American democracy is on full display, reminding us that its outcome matters to every citizen. In moments like these, we see the true strength of our system, a government of laws, not of men, where the people's voice and the nation's founding principles continue to guide our future.